What's up, you guys? Your boy Big Al with Purple Gold, man, and we got the legend himself.
Rosecrans Vic,
Bro, wilding right now, wilding, bro. Being in my seat, this is kind of crazy, man. This is a legendary podcaster himself and someone who's been a journalist in the community for a couple years back, man. And you've built the foundation, and I'm very taken back by this, and I'm honored. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
honestly, bro, like real
appreciate
shit.
that.
You've done a lot for the community, and you know, being a Latino and getting into the ventures of hip hop and not being, you know, there's not a lot of us even to begin with in the community. You know what I'm saying? Of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like, we do Power 106. Yeah, we do 92.3, and they put us on there because they have to. You know what I'm saying? LA, throw a Latino in there. You know what I'm saying? It's usually a DJ. You know what I'm saying? I remember when, you know, Power 106 kind of had that hit and Twitter was destroying to throw you on there.
Oh, yeah.
That was before Nick Cannon. You know what I'm saying? Weird ass Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon stole my job. Yeah, that's
low key. Look, come on, bro. You get to say that shit. That's fucking crazy. like, that's fucking wild to even think about
forever,
that.
Like, it's not actually what happened, but it really feels that way. So, like,
bro,
I'm always
in the hundreds. Like, it was in the hundreds of it. It was like a big deal on Twitter.
Yeah, it was definitely like a big deal. So I'm always be like, damn it, Nick Cannon, you stole my job. Even though it didn't happen, but shout out to Nick Cannon, a little wild now.
Real shit.
It was just a funny situation because I didn't expect him to. First of all, I didn't expect people to campaign for me, and I didn't expect him to like get the job. Everything was just like very random.
It was wild. It was an actual thing though, which was like I was like, yeah, this is fucking crazy. This is wild, bro. So let's talk about how far back you've been into it, bro. You've been in the culture for a long time. Man, you started Rosecrans Avenue back in June of 2014.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I did my research into that and kind of see that I fell into. So what kind of led to back in the day? There was no podcast. There was no audios. YouTube was hitting the way it was hitting now.
Yeah.
What led to you putting out, you know, a journalism perspective as far as LA culture?
Because I felt like nobody was like covering LA underground hip hop at the time. And you know what I mean? Like from what I see, like I was reading, like I've always been a big fan of hip hop, like since I was like a kid, like a young kid, like 6-7 years old. And it was always something I loved, and I always loved journalism, but I never really thought to like put them together until I was like 21, started doing like my radio show at Long Beach City. But I was doing like, you know, my on-air show like 30 minutes a week or whatever, and I sucked really, really bad. So I was like, man, I feel like there's so much I want to say, but I can't say it on the mic because I'm nervous, I'm shy, I'm reserved, and I'm not out of like my comfort zone yet. So I started to like write things down for me to say, but then it just sounded like I was reading. And then I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm like, why don't I just make like a post or something? And all I did was like read blogs at that time. Like I read like any blog, like Complex, Pigeons and Planes, like Two Dope Boys.
Pigeons and Planes, actually remember that.
I read all of them religiously all day. And I didn't like any of them. Like I would read them, but I'm just like, this is fucking boring. You know what I mean? Like this is terrible. Like they can do a lot better, or maybe I can do a lot better. You know what I mean? So that's what kind of started like getting me to like
the hustle, bro. Como dicen las ganas, bro. Straight up.
I started to think like, man, maybe I can, you know, do my own thing. And one blog that really did inspire me was it doesn't exist anymore, but it was called 4 Pins.
Okay.
It was a blog called 4 Pins. It was actually on the Complex network, and it was about fashion. And I'm not even into fashion like that, but it was blogging about like fashion piece, like see that like Balenciaga jacket, right?
Yeah.
They can't see it, but we can. But they would like make a post about it, and like the guy would, like whoever was writing about it would say like, this Balenciaga jacket reminds me of the time like I got my ass whooped in 4th grade. It was like a red jacket that I had, and like he would just break down like this whole thing that had nothing to do with the jacket.
It was a story behind.
It was a story, and it might have been made up, but it was entertaining.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, how about I do that for music?
Okay.
Maybe people won't give a fuck about, you know, Lil So-and-so's like song, you know, who's an underground artist from LA. Maybe I could entertain them with like a short, like 2-paragraph blog about, you know, what this song makes me feel, right? So that was kind of like my whole basis for like making the blog, and it was like fun. And I sucked at writing, but I was figuring it out. You know,
actually pretty funny. I actually read. You can ask the boys. I was actually reading some of your. It's really cool that you kept your trial and errors there.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You kept the post from 2014. And I read a couple of them, and I read in 2016. I saw, you know, kind of like your adverbs and your way of describing things, and I saw the growth in kind of your writing. You know what I'm saying? I was kind of like, bro, this is wild. You know, the way you describe things now, you know, as opposed to back then, you can see the growth like exponentially. You know
exactly.
Who was your first? Who's your first fucking blog or first drop that you did on Rosecrans Avenue? What artist was it? Do you remember?
The first person I ever wrote anything about, I think, was The Game. I think he dropped that Year of the Wolf album.
Oh shit!
Which was like a terrible album, but I think I wrote about like one of his songs, and so what I did with the blog was like it dropped in like October, but I was writing since June. And just so that when it did launch, it didn't just have one post or two posts. Like you could actually go back and see something for a little while. So yeah, it was like, I think that was probably like the first one, and it probably sucked, like I'm sure it did. But I just went and like wrote like every night. Like I was working a full-time job, and my son was just born, but I dedicated like 3 hours a night.
Shout out to Little Vic.
Yeah, shout out Little Vic. I dedicated like 3 hours every night to writing and blogging and teaching myself, you know, how to like write short form and just get better as a writer. You know, it was one of those things like just do it every day,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
it's definitely one of those things, you know, you guys have witnessed it, myself, you know, kind of coming on here and starting this whole entire thing. It wasn't something that I necessarily just kind of fucking snapped into, you know what I'm saying? It was something that, you know, luckily I had people like you know what I'm saying, to kind of like correspond and kind of take a lines to what was going down and the proper grammar and the proper vocabulary and transitions to go through conversations, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not something you can just kind of fall into and just be like, hey, I'm going to talk to you about you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? For as long as possible. You know what I'm saying? It's not something you just kind of grow.
What I always tell people is like, you're really good on camera once you can just really be yourself on camera. Yeah. And stop trying to be like you on camera. Like, I'm Perps and Gold.
Exactly.
Once you just like break all that shit down and are just like completely yourself is like when it's like better. You know what I mean? That's when you like really start to like reach your full potential. Because that's really all people want to see. They want to see two people talking about some genuine shit.
And that's something that, you know, fucking TV's going to go away, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They're going to start hiring us, bro.
YouTube.
Because the truth is, bro, is that, you know, the natural, the aspect of it and the rawness of it is huge. You know what I'm saying? And it's something that people don't really get to see on, you know what I'm saying, on TV anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's like, unfortunately, it's gone to the point where the rawness and the rawness of the nature of people and the way people interact nowadays is something that TV can't handle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The uncut story behind how we got here and how, you know what I'm saying, things come to fortune, you know what I'm saying? It's something that TV can't fucking handle. You know what I'm saying? So where are you born and raised, bro?
So I was born in Inglewood.
Okay, Inglewood.
Yeah, I was born in Inglewood. Raised the first part of my life in Lennox, so right there, like right near the Forum. And then we moved to
That's hood, bro.
That's why we have so we left when I was about 9. I started like 4th grade in Downey. We moved to Bellflower, but it was like it's right on the border of like Bellflower, Paramount, and Downey.
Yeah, they have their own little.
It's like that triangle. Yeah, it's like it's literally like a tri-city type of like.
They got their own scene too. They got their own vibe.
Yeah, so moved there and went to school in Downey for the rest of my years and kind of bounced back and forth. Like lived in like different cities and stuff like that. I've lived in like Whittier, and, Hawthorne, like. But I mean, most like when people ask me where I'm from, I guess I would say like 310 and 562. That feels right. Okay. Like all around that area. You know what I mean? Like,
right. I rep 310 San Pedro.
Shout out to San Pedro.
So during that time, I mean, you know what I'm saying, those are areas that actually consist of a lot of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Was there kind of in your growth going through, you know, 21, 22, that's when we're partying wild, and you know what I'm saying, we're kind of growing into who we want to be and what we want to do. Was there any artists or kind of you start going to shows and what brought you and kind of really drew you into, you know what, man, this is like my vibe?
You know what, not at that age, but I want to say like I started going to shows like kind of young. I went to, I don't know if you're familiar with You and I, the group You and I. They were around back in the day, like with like Pac Div and like Don Kennedy and stuff like that. Yeah. So I went to like a few of their shows when I was pretty young, like probably like 16, 17. And then I went to, when I was 18, I went to Paid Dues, if you remember that.
Okay, yeah, Paid Dues is wild.
Went to Paid Dues out in like San Bernardino, like every year, like
that's real deep hip hop shit too. That's like real hip hop head.
Yeah,
like you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Like you can't be no fucking cornball, like going to pay dues. Like you're like a real, like you listen to the lyrics. That's like a lyricist, you know what I'm saying, concert. You know what I'm saying?
So I went to those, but yeah, like I didn't go to like too many shows until I really started to really be like in the culture. That's when I really just started going to like any local LA hip hop show. You know what I mean?
That
like
sounded right.
It didn't matter really like who. I'm just like, okay, let me get acquainted with the scene. You know what I mean? Start pulling up, and then I started doing my shows, and then obviously I'm gonna be there. So
well, what age did you start doing your own show pretty much?
I think the first one maybe must have been like 22. It was 2016, I want to say. It was probably, actually no. Well, it's because like, so I went from doing like parties to, we're like doing a few like throwback like 2000s parties.
Yeah, hosting and shit like that.
Yeah, so we did
flyer
a few
parties.
Of those. Yeah, something like that.
No, it's tanks.
No, outside tanks. Nah, but we're doing that, like we did them like at a few local bars. And then
Downey had that vibe more than anything.
Downey did have that vibe.
Downey had that vibe. Parties in Downey, real shit.
Yeah. So we started to do like this party. We did this party called Where the Party At. We did it a few times with like 3 of my friends. And then I did this party called Baby Girl, which was like all female hip hop. And
okay, that slaps.
It was dope, bro. The ratio was like 9 to 1, bro. No
that's
joke.
What matters, bro. You call the homie and what's with the ratio?
Bro,
that's all that matters.
Time,
real
bro.
Shit. That's how you're really throwing them. Real shit.
Nah, on God. So shout out Marina, shout out Marco, shout out Papo. You know, we were really successful.
Baby Girl. That's
at doing that show. Yeah, it went really well. Like we're doing those, and then I started to like I loved it, but at the same time like. It wasn't like it was fun, but at the same time, it wasn't like advancing like hip hop culture. For LA, you know what I mean? Like it was just like I was going to have fun, drink, whatever. But then I'm like, you know what? Let me like actually like put some more time and thoughts into like growing this LA hip hop scene and like booking these artists that aren't getting booked by anybody else. So I started booking like my own shows, booking local acts and. Tried to do them pretty regularly, like every month or 2. You know what I mean? Start to grow like the brand and the name.
That sounds kind of easy. More. But something I like to mention all the time. Those are growing pains. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not easy. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with an LA artist or dealing with an up and coming artist. You know what I'm saying? Who's definitely in the vibe because. You know, sometimes, bro, you're up and coming. It's just like, yo, who the fuck is this dude? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's something you come with growing pains. I like to mention that a lot. That it's not necessarily the easiest to put this whole, ambiance together. It's tough, bro.
It's hard, bro.
It's tough.
I want to say my first show. I think that was like actual like performance rapping show like that, not just a party. We booked the homie AZ Sway.
Okay.
This girl Leah Zin and AZ Chike. And this was like 2016, like January.
That's a wave, low key.
Yeah, and we booked a few other of the homies. I think Rob 2, Big Swift. It was a really dope show, and it went really well. Like we packed out. It was a small venue. It was Los Globos, but like upstairs, like the smallest. Shout out Los Globos. I know it was like the smallest room in there, but it was like
about 3 stories,
like 100 capacity. But we packed it out, and it was just like a vibe, and It was going so well, and then out of nowhere, like our headliner at the time, like AZ Sway, he's about to get on stage, and then all the lights shut off, like all of them shut off.
Power outage or massive?
So somebody like on Sunset hit a transformer.
Oh my
and
God!
The block went completely dark for like the next 30-40 minutes.
Sunset Boulevard, bro.
Yeah, so. It was wild. Everybody was like, what the fuck? Like, everybody's looking around.
What the fuck do you do?
So what I did was, like, I didn't know what to do. I'm like, I'm sorry, guys. But, like, the show was so dope until that point.
Dope.
Is that, like, they were, like, upset, but not really because they had a great time.
Yeah.
And everybody was just talking about, like, man, that show, all the lights went out. Like, it traveled further than if it wouldn't have happened. You know what I mean? More people were talking about it.
Yeah.
So it was actually like a blessing in disguise because people were like, oh, the Rosecrans party, like, shit just went out. Like, oh, that, like, people were like, oh, that's whack. Like, no, it was actually pretty cool.
It was vibing until that happened. It's not their fault.
Exactly. It's not their fault. And like I said, they had a good time, so they couldn't really complain too much. And what I did, because I had the mentality of like, I'm going to be here forever. I paid the performers anyway. I'm like, look, you guys didn't perform, but you pulled up.
Loyalty,
and you brought people here.
Loyalty.
And yeah, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to ruin a relationship over a few $100. Like, at the end of the day, like, I got some money in my pocket, and, you know, you guys, I agreed to pay you guys something. Here you go. Like, you didn't perform, but that's not your fault. It's not my fault.
Exactly.
So let's charge it to
business.
the game. Yeah. And I keep great relationships with those people to this day. You know what I mean? So that's the only thing I could have done. And, you know, so.
That's dope, bro. That's actually an amazing story. Those are the growing pains. Growing pains, bro. And that's early on. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you got a stack. You know what I'm saying?
There's plenty.
From 2014 to now, that's a lot to go through. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, it goes to the game.
Yeah.
You know, there's some of these losses we got to take, and it just goes to the game and to the ambition of the hustle of actually pulling this together.
Just keep going.
Just keep going, bro.
Keep going every time, like, you know what I mean? And don't really get all bent over, like, every single thing. You know what I mean? Because there's tomorrow and you're going to do something else.
There's plenty of more things that come your way that you're going to face. You know what I'm saying? So, man, that's just some truth to be spoken right there. So early on when that happened, let's kind of talk about some of the things you've dropped on your page, because I did a wide spread on everything. So how did it come about where you started pretty much recording with Audio Mac?
So Audio Mac, they reached out to me last year.
Audio Mac reached out to him.
Yeah. Shout out Audio Mac. Yeah. They reached out to me last year, I think like in the middle of the year, and they told me, they're like, hey, we're doing like a Hometown Heroes playlist. We thought maybe, you know, we would love you to like be one of the people who's like our hometown hero for like your city
influence
and stuff like that. And I'm just like, yeah, that sounds dope. Like, what do I have to do? And they're like, all you have to do is make a playlist. You know what I mean? Like, we'll pay you this much a month, and then just try to sign people up if you can. As a bonus, like, you'll get bonus money if you
as
sign
a subscription
people up.
pretty much.
And
subscribe.
And I'm just like, say less. You know what I mean? Then I started like researching like Audio Mac more, and then I'm like, oh, this is dope. Like, this is what SoundCloud used to be before they just kind of like never embraced any artists that were they like. There's a whole
continues to be a platform,
but like SoundCloud fucked up because they were a whole like genre of music, and they never embraced it.
That's definitely true.
There's SoundCloud rap, like there's still SoundCloud rappers out there who got their whole career.
They're pretty much the example right now.
And SoundCloud never fucked with them. Like, you never seen them in an office with SoundCloud, like taking a selfie, like, what's up?
Exactly.
Like, and that's where they fucked up. They never made content about SoundCloud rap. They didn't do any documentaries about SoundCloud rap. They probably didn't even trademark that shit. So like by them being bougie or just being like, you know,
whatever the fuck they
wanted to be, like, they fucked up. And they left a lane open that like Audio Mac is like, nah, fuck that. Like, they just did a concert Trap Symphony with Roddy Ricch.
Oh, dude.
Like
that
a few weeks
nuts, bro. I actually just watched that. They did like 4 or 5 songs.
They did it live here in LA. And it's like, that's the kind of shit you should be doing, because now people are going to associate Roddy Ricch with Audio Mac, and there's a good relationship there. They give out plaques to artists.
SEO, that's a search engine operation to go through.
They give out plaques to artists if they reach like 100 million plays or like 1 million plays type shit. Like, you know what I mean? They really like,
that's respect.
And if you think about it, like, do you know where SoundCloud's located or where they originate from?
No, at all. Nothing.
Nobody does.
Nobody.
I mean, I do, because I did research, but Germany. So it's like,
that's
bro, like,
crazy.
That's why they don't fuck with us. Like, not to say Germans don't fuck with us, but it's just like,
they're not part of the culture to begin with. You know what I'm saying? They're just for the money aspect of it, and they remained in that.
And it just happened, like, artists just happen to blow up on their platform. You know what I mean? Like, so shout out Audio Mac, love them, got a great relationship. Shout out Ponte, Joe, Kim Chanel, who else am I missing?
Shout out Audio Mac.
Ali, everybody's dope over there. I fuck with them heavy. Every time I go to New York, they show me mad love, and let's go and vibe, and you know what I mean?
I fuck with that. That's dope, man. That's awesome. When I did my research on that, I was just like, yo, bro, it's like literally like being in charge of the culture, you know what I'm saying? You look as far as LA culture, and you go into this playlist, and you see, you know what I'm saying, some Vic's very own selective songs because he's within the culture. You know what I'm saying?
Go stream the playlist too,
Oh shit, that's a check. Something I also want to talk about is you fucking did the Unbelievable, and you put out a fucking album. A whole fucking album, bro. With some of LA's fucking finest. Like, there's not a person on there who is not part of the future wave. You know what I'm saying? Of hip hop. Not just LA, but I'm talking about hip hop overall. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you feel about, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure that was like beyond milestone. You know You know what I'm saying? For me, bro, I fucking celebrated. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate that.
You had everyone on there, bro. I mean, I'll say a couple, you know, Shoreline, Kalon, you know what I'm saying? Fucking Big Swift, fucking Problem. Fucking everybody was on there, bro. How long did that take to put that together?
So it really took like 2 months, like 2 solid months to put together. And I mean, the whole album, everything, like the process, like was like a bit longer than that. But as far as like the recording process, like it was a solid 2 months. We have a studio in Paramount, the Z Room. Go book some time there. Hit me up for that.
Shout out to Z Room.
We booked it out for 2 months completely. Like nobody could book sessions, just us.
Oh shit!
Right?
Real work.
So we just
that's real work.
Dug our heels in the sand and just like, we're gonna get this done within the next 2 months.
That's wild.
We're gonna pay the rent here. Nobody else is. Like, we're just gonna make this happen.
That type of shit takes years, bro.
So we were like, okay, we gotta do this because we had a deadline too. It's like, the thing is, like, once you sign a deal, like then you have to agree to the terms, and we had a hard deadline of August 10th, and we signed the deal in June.
Damn.
So we were like, fuck, like, let's get to work. But really, like, the whole time we were negotiating the deal, we were already working on it. Yeah. Because we knew we were gonna sign, but we just needed like some terms to be, you know, favorable. Yeah. So we started working on it in May as soon as I got back from Miami, and we just locked it out, and I didn't know what I was doing. I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to make an album, dog? Like, I never did this before, you know what I mean? And so I started relying closely on my artists, shout out Rob and Rob 2 and Big Swift.
Okay.
And they started kind of mentoring me, you know,
on how to go about it.
How to, like, okay, I'm like, so what do we do here? You know what I mean? Like, I have all these contacts. I have, you know, a lot of relationships. I have an idea, but how do we put this together and make it a dope album? And I just knew what I didn't want it to be. I didn't want it to be an album where people just send in tracks and it just sounds like a random mixtape.
Oh, like I know exactly what you're talking about. Like a compilation of just...
I didn't want it to sound like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you know, respect to DJ Khaled, but his albums sound like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
it's a compilation of just a bunch of shit
before they were a lot more cohesive. Like, it had like a cast. Like, it was just a whole bunch of Fat Joe, a whole bunch of Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
And all
Terror
this,
Squad.
And that was cool. Yeah. Like, honestly,
that was the wave. That was what...
They had a bunch of Birdman on there.
That was what his production fit into at the time. You know what I'm saying? It was that East Coast heavy rap.
And it was... And I didn't feel like at the time he was just, like, chasing number ones. And I know it's at a different point now because once you have a number one, like...
You get
2 or 3, you're like, I just want to do it again.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you're competing at the highest level. So I definitely understand that, but... You know, we're not there yet, so I wasn't trying to get like, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 number one singles. Like, I was trying to make a dope body of work for LA to listen to, that instead of listening to a playlist of this artist and this artist and this artist, like, you would come take a ride down Rosecrans and, you know, listen to...
No better way to put it.
And listen to, you know, a lot of artists that I really fuck with and some really dope tracks that we put together, you know, from start to finish, like... Production, we put this producer in the room with this artist, and then they had a dope vibe, and then I'm like, you know who would go good on this? Let me invite so-and-so, like, you know who else needs to be on this at the end? Like, let me put the homie AD here, like, you know what I mean? So it's like, we did that, and it took us a while to really, like, figure out what we were doing, but once we got the concept down and what we wanted to do, like, it was pretty easy to complete, and I was super happy with the results. Like, bro, I can honestly say, like, it's a dope album.
It's been slapping. It's been slapping as far as my phone goes and my car goes since you put it out, bro. Like, real shit, mad respect. Because also another thing too, you guys need to put in perspective. This is the first podcaster, you know what I'm saying, a journalist has put out a full album.
That's facts.
You know what I'm saying? Those are real facts, bro.
We could look back in U.S. history and
we could look into the hip hop books.
Like this.
You know what I'm saying? And that's wild, bro. You will put your face right there, arms folded, Rosecrans. You know what I'm saying?
Guinness Book of World Records too. I need my spot. First journalist to put out an album should be like this.
With Ben Frank, you know what I'm saying? It's wild to even really think about, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy, you know, that we're doing a crazy transition in the culture as far as, like, not only are we in hip hop, Not only are we rapping, you know what I'm saying? Not only are we producing, shout out to Cypress, but we're in charge of the culture. You know what I'm saying? We're getting people to listen to who's really making an effort, who's really in charge, and really making a wave as far as LA goes, because we're such a widespread, you know what I'm saying, zone of culture that it's like, you know what I'm saying, you do need a little bit of guidance. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I really wanted to do. You know what I mean? Like, I intentionally put, you know, Spanish and like Spanish, like artists like FIFA, right? So if you guys aren't familiar with FIFA, go check him out right now. He's really dope. He's one of the first artists from LA who is like a Latin trap rapper, like I guess you could say like a Bad Bunny or you know, Maluma, whatever Ozuna, whatever artist you want to name. But he's really from LA, and he can rap and sing in Spanish and English like amazingly.
Fuck with that, bro.
You know what I mean? So, you know, what is LA without Mexicans? Like
that's
Tupac
true,
said, you know what I mean? And FIFA's not even Mexican. Shout out, you know, Pupusa Gang. He's Salvadoran.
Oh, Salvadoran, Pupusa Gang. I fuck with that.
So, but you know, he brings that vibe, that Latin vibe. So it's
LA.
like I had to do that, and I didn't want to just make like a Spanish song on the album. Like, it's like, nah, bro, we all mixed up in this shit together, bro, every day. You know what I mean? We all grew up together,
the
bro.
real jungle. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and it's
LA's a fucking jungle, bro. So you can, as beautiful as this place looks, bro, y'all can step outside. That bitch is a jungle.
You know what I mean? So all of us, like, we all grew up together. So, you know what I mean? Having him on, like, multiple songs where he's, you know, on it with, you know, other hip-hop artists is, like, what was my real, like, intention of, like, look, this is, like, from our perspective, but you can really see all sides of LA on this.
Yeah, you know it's definitely something, you know, and it's a fucking big. We're talking about 16 tracks?
14, I think.
14 tracks.
14, yeah.
Too shy. You know, I wish there were 16 if it was that good. You know what I'm saying?
We had a few that were going to make it, and just once you get into, like, label politics and shit, you start to, you know what I mean? A few of them are, like, left off, and, you know, I could play them for you guys after, but they're not cleared yet, so... There's still some. Those
are things you have to learn as well too. Obviously, like going
definitely. We had to take a few songs off. You know what I mean? And, they're really dope songs by dope artists, but you know, bullshit gets involved. But hopefully, at least one of them is probably gonna get released sometime soon.
The politics are still at the courthouse.
Yeah,
it's still at the courthouse. You know what I'm saying? We got to figure that out.
Yeah.
So you guys saw what happened here, man. True legend to the LA culture. Rosecrans Vic came by to shoot the shit. You know what I'm saying? It was beyond ecstatic. Shout out to Runners. Shout out to Beastwoods.
Shout out my guy Big Al.
Appreciate you, bro.
Shout out to Lakers. We're gonna beat the Clippers tomorrow.
Oh, we're gonna fuck shit up, bro. That's not even, man. Shout out to everyone on Apple Podcasts and Spotify too. You guys, man. You guys been fucking supporting the shit out of me and really riding with me as far as the audio goes. But fucking watch my videos, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, get on YouTube.
Get on YouTube. So, man. Rosecrans Vic, Ride Down Rosecrans on all fucking platforms. Slap that shit. This is no joke. We got Shoreline Mafia on K-Lon. We got every artist that's representing LA culture on that bitch, man. I'm not telling you just to listen to it just because it's here. I actually slap that shit on the daily. You know what I'm saying? There's all kinds of artists on there that just blow me away. Some that I haven't heard of, some that you're going to find out about, and you're going to have to support yourself. RosecransAvenue.com. Shout out to my boy Vic.
Yeah, listen to my album, I'm not a rapper.
Listen to it. Real shit. He's not a rapper, you guys. This boy Big Al. Perps of gold, y'all.